Welcome guys, we have a question in Math Paper 1 under bearings. The question reads, in the diagram below, A, B and C are 3 points on level ground. The bearing of B from A is 062 degrees and angle ABC is equal to 128 degrees. C is due east of A. Find the bearing of C from B and A from C. So there are some basics that you're supposed to know before you answer the bearings. Now, before we look at the rules of bearings, let's look at the alternate angles. So I have this line and also another line. So these two lines are parallel. Then I'm going to draw another close line here. So we'll put, so this is let's say this is angle A, then I'm going to call this one as angle B. So what is the relationship of angle A and B? So the relationship of angle A and B is that if you are to add angle A plus angle B, these must add up to 180. So if let's say angle B is equal to 150, then angle A must be equal to 30. So what you do is you get 180 minus the angle that you have, then the remainder is the missing angle. Then here I'm going to put angle C. What is the relationship between A and C? The relationship between A and C is that angle A is equal to angle C. If there is 30 here, even here we are going to have 30. What of D? So what of D and C? D and C is the same pattern. So we'll say D plus C is equal to 180. So here must have 150. So these angles adds up to 180. So are these. Then these are equal to each other. Even this angle is equal to this angle. Now what of if we put this angle and this angle? So we say this is angle B, this is angle C. What is the relationship? The relationship is C plus B is equal to 180. If there is 150 here, then there should be a 30 here, because you know that a straight line adds up to 180. So these are some of the principles that you're not going to find these principles on the topic of bearings. So these principles will be considered that you've known these in grade 9 or 8. So you need to refresh your mind on these principles. Now let's go back to our given question. So under the given question, the first one, we have the bearing of C from B. So the bearing is coming from B. Then there are some rules that you need to know when dealing with bearings. So the first one, the bearing moves in a clockwise direction. So this is the direction that you are supposed to follow. So no matter how difficult the exam seems to be, never move in the counterclockwise direction. Then I want you to see if I can help you to know how to draw this bearing. So the key point is where it is coming from. That is where your focus should be. So this bearing is coming from B. So I'm going to draw a vertical line through point B. Then I put north. So remember, this line and this one, these two are parallel. So we can now form that principle where we say this angle, let's say if this is angle X, then this is angle Y. These two angles must add up to 180. So that's the reason why I said you need to have those principles when dealing with angles. Then after that is done, now we need to draw the bearing. So the bearing always starts from the north. So it's N followed by this letter B, then the last one is C. So that is the order. So the first one is the north, the second letter is where it is coming from, then the last one is where it is going to. So that's a point that you're supposed to do. So you go where the bearing is coming from, which is B, then you move. We said you begin with the north. So this is the north point of B. Then I'm going to move in a clockwise direction. So the clockwise direction, we know that we need to move to the right until we touch the line that is connecting C and B. So this is the bearing that we want. Okay, so if this is the bearing that we want, what number is here? So how can we find this number? So if we extend, we have alternate angle. We said if this is 62, then this angle must be equal to 62. So we put 62 here. Now this angle is 128. So let's subtract 62 from 128. So 128 minus 62. 8 minus 2 is 6. Then 12 minus 6. So it simply means that this angle here is 66. Now if this is 66, we know that straight line, remember I said if we have something like this, the angle here and the angle here must add up to 180. So this angle is 66. Then this angle is the number that if we add to 66, we get 180. So the simpler way, we can just get 180, then we subtract 66. If we get 1 from 8, we put here 10 minus 6 is 4. Here we have 7. 7 minus 6 is 1. So we have 114 here. So this is our final answer for this one. Right, we move on to A from C. A from C. So it's coming from C. Remember, we said focus on where it's coming from. So I'm going to draw another vertical line on point C. Then you put north. So all these 3 lines are parallel to each other. So the principle of alternate angles can be used. So the angle, if this is 66 here, even here we are going to have 66. Remember, we said if we have this angle here is equal to this angle here. Okay, so now let's draw. We said you begin with N followed by C, then A. So that's our pattern. So I'm going to move north of point C, this point. Then I'm going to move in a clockwise direction. So this is my direction. So until I touch A. So this is the line that is connecting A and C. So this is the angle that we want. Now for this one, there is this point we are going to use to answer this question. We have been told C is due east of A. This, whenever you are told due east of A or due west of whatever, it simply means that the line is horizontal. So any line that will be vertical to this one will form an angle of 90, which means that the whole angle here is 90. So to find the final answer, we'll just say the complete revolution is 360 minus the 90. We don't want this portion. This is portion. This portion must be subtracted. So giving us the total of 27. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.